a quiet village hidden among green hills, a boy named Arka dreamed of touching the sky. Every morning he stared at the river, believing its flowing water carried whispers of distant worlds he longed to see. His home was made of bamboo and hope. His mother, a weaver, smiled through hardship. His father worked the fields, hands cracked by the sun. Yet in their humble home, love was the richest harvest. Arka often asked, "Mama, can dreams cross rivers?" She would smile, "Only if your heart dares to swim." Those words became the rhythm of his days, echoing in his heart louder than any lullaby. School was far, almost a journey of faith. Each step through muddy paths tested his resolve. But Arka carried his books like treasures, protecting them from rain with a piece of old plastic. While other children played in the fields, Arka built small boats from leaves, letting them drift away. One day, he whispered, "I'll follow you beyond the bend." His imagination sailed before his feet could. At night, the stars above the village felt like a map. He didn't know where they led, but he believed they were guiding him. Hope, to him, was not a word. It was the air he breathed. One rainy season, the river flooded, washing away part of the village. Arka's books were drenched, ink fading like melting dreams. Yet he dried them one by one, whispering, "You'll live again, just like me." His teacher, Miss Lonnie, noticed his spirit. "Arka," she said, "you have something rare, fire in your eyes." He smiled shyly, unsure what fire looked like, but he knew it burned quietly inside him. Miss Lonnie brought him an old science book. "This," she said, "is your window to the world." Arka spent nights tracing diagrams of stars and machines, seeing not paper, but endless possibilities. Every discovery lit him up. When he learned how planes flew, he built wings from banana leaves. The villagers laughed kindly, but Arka didn't mind. Even birds must flap awkwardly before they soar, he thought. One evening, his father found him sketching under the moon. "Dreams are heavy, son," he warned. Arka looked up. "Then I'll grow strong enough to carry them." His father's silence hid both pride and fear. Days turned into seasons. Arka began helping Miss Lonnie fix the school's broken generator. His hands trembled, but curiosity guided them steadier than any manual. Sparks flew, and so did his confidence. When the generator lit the classroom again, the children cheered. Arka watched the bulbs glow and whispered, "Light listens to effort." For the first time, his dream didn't feel far, it felt reachable. News spread across the village. The farmer's boy fixed the light. Some smiled, others doubted. But Arka didn't seek applause. He sought understanding. Knowledge was no longer a tool, was his language of hope. One day, a visitor from the city arrived, seeing Arka's sketches pinned to bamboo walls. "Who made these?" he asked. Miss Lonnie pointed proudly. "That boy dreams with purpose." The man smiled knowingly. The visitor was an engineer named Damar. He saw in Arka a spark of brilliance, untamed by privilege. "Would you like to learn more?" he asked gently. Arka's heart raced faster than the river. That night, Arka couldn't sleep. The stars seemed closer, whispering promises of unknown lands. He realized that dreams were not distant, they were invitations waiting for courage to answer. Before dawn, Arka sat by the river, holding his reflection. "If I leave," he thought, "will this river still know my name?" The water rippled softly, as if blessing his journey ahead. He packed his worn-out shoes, his mother's smile, and his father's silent pride. As he walked away, the village faded behind mist, but in his chest a fire burned bright and steady. With every step beyond the hills, Arka whispered, "This is for you, Mama, for every dream that dared to swim." The boy from the river was ready to chase the horizon and change the world. The city overwhelmed Arka at first, its lights too bright, its pace too fast. Yet within the noise, he heard a familiar rhythm, the same heartbeat that whispered by his village river. Engineer Damar welcomed him warmly. "This will be your new classroom," he said, showing a workshop filled with tools and machines. Arka's eyes widened. Each wire looked like a new language to learn. He studied every day and night, often skipping meals just to solve one more problem. Failure became his teacher, persistence his closest friend. Every spark reminded him of home's flickering lamps. When loneliness crept in, he remembered his mother's words, "Dreams cross rivers." He whispered them like a prayer before every challenge, feeling courage flow again through his weary veins. Months passed. Arka began creating small prototypes, wind-powered lamps, bamboo drones, solar chargers from scrap metal. Damar often watched silently, amazed by how curiosity turned into quiet brilliance. But city life wasn't kind. Some mocked his accent, others his simple clothes. One day he overheard laughter. A villager wants to build machines. The words cut deep, but not deep enough to stop him. He returned to his room that night and stared at his reflection. "If they laugh," he whispered, "it means they've seen me." He smiled faintly, recognition, even through ridicule, was still light. Damar entered, holding 2 cups of tea. "You know, Arka," he said, "greatness often grows in silence." Arka nodded. "Then I'll let my work speak louder than their doubts." His invention, a portable light powered by river flow, finally worked. When the small bulb glowed, he felt his heart echo the river's current, alive and unstoppable. Hope now had form and purpose. News spread quickly. Scientists, journalists, and teachers visited the workshop. They called him the boy who turned water into light. Yet Arka only smiled, knowing it was his village that truly shined. He returned home carrying his invention. The villagers gathered by the river as he placed the small turbine in the water. Slowly, lights flickered to life across the bamboo huts. The crowd gasped in awe. His mother cried softly. "You did it, Arka," she whispered. He hugged her, voice trembling. "No, Mama, we did." The river sparkled beneath the moon as if joining their celebration. Soon, universities invited him to speak. But Arka never forgot the mud between his toes or the laughter of the fields. His story wasn't about escape. It was about bringing light back home. He built a small lab beside the river, teaching children how to create with their hands. "Innovation," he said, "isn't born in cities. It's born in hearts that refuse to give up." Every student carried the same spark he once held. They built, failed, learned, and built again. The village slowly transformed, not with money, but with ideas that refused to fade. One evening, Damar visited again. "You've changed lives, Arka," he smiled humbly. "The river taught me, when it moves, it gives life. I'm just following its flow." Years later, Arka's invention powered villages across the country. People spoke his name with pride, yet he still spent nights by the river sketching, dreaming of better ways to serve others. A journalist once asked, "What drives you, Arka?" He answered softly, "Every dream deserves light. I was once a boy, chasing reflections. Now I help others find their glow." When the wind brushed the water, it carried stories of how one boy's courage crossed borders. His journey proved that brilliance doesn't need wealth, it needs belief. Under the same stars that once guided him, Arka smiled. "Thank you, river," he whispered. The world now shone brighter, not because he reached it, but because he brought the village with him.